Look, there you are, Mike.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It was good. Happy New Year.
They're happy, the things we do for our kids and grandkids, they're happy. It's easy to feel anonymous. It's a shame that schools have gotten so big, because it's the same number, whether it's huge from a hood school or small school, cheerleading squad, whatever. So it's your chances of becoming a part of whatever you want to become a part of.
There's a chance.
People no longer know. Was the restaurant open yet? She's just worried about the yeah, she.
Just never.
For a few years, but yeah, every day. Yeah. Yeah. So that is always my favorite part around school. Yeah. That's a help. Yeah. Okay. So funny. She's gonna say 8 to 12, like a little school day. Oh, wow. And then she goes to her
Oh, my story. 8:30 in the morning. I think we give it back. Because I'm starting to get out.
There's gotta be, but I can say, here, sit down. But, okay, so my husband, my actually has to go into work next week. He's gonna let me know.
Okay, you might have to leave.
Worst case scenario, we might have to talk on the phone.
No worries.
Right, that might work.
Yeah.
But yes.
I thought you lived there. Okay. Morning.
Good morning.
But, thank you.
Just the lineup for the end of.
Oh, yeah, I think I would do that differently. I would do that differently.
This is the first year I only went to like usually 7 to 7.
Yeah.
It's about years.
I just did that for like one.
You know, when I scanned this and I tried to donate on it,
Don't tell me it didn't work.
well, I couldn't donate to us, to this.
No, we're under United Way. So did it take you to the United Way page?
So it was through all the Forsyth County stuff.
No, I like have just started putting all this together, so it really might be. This, yes, enough.
Donate now. And then, okay, say that. Okay, and then it asked what. Okay, maybe I have the. Okay, that's fine.
That works.
Yeah,
Okay,
but then
because
I thought it was just
well,
like.
we've been tweaking it because
Okay.
that might have been weird when you tried, because we've been having to change things and basically finding all the things.
Oh, okay, so that's what I was like, you know what, I just asked, because it was just saying the other names for Forsyth County School, do you wanna do it to this, do you wanna do it to that, like, that's not what I want, so.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we're getting started.
Yep, I'm gone when we have, the county, spring break, which is the 1st of April.
Yeah, we're like a big community and I think
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So. Yes. And I'm not. I was like, they didn't get the first time. Oh, yeah. They're going to. Counseling and all of that. Well, where will they be able to see that? Yeah, I have to donating for this, and I'd like my name and recognition. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Should be the way. These are things I thought to figure out, like,
Because, it's like, okay,
because a part of that says like any number of that, which like usually thank you, well, thank you. Put in a range, but we can maybe do some things like that in a newsletter.
Yeah.
Who donate, like, you'll
yeah,
get
look at,
recognition.
right.
I think that is
Something that would
an
be,
important.
I think that it would give them more motivation that, okay, everybody that lives in Forsyth County or whatever, if they want to do business, they'll see that I donate to this. Like for our swim team, I mean, it's silly, but we would announce their names with our swim teams. We put them on a big banner and have them on the banner. The swim meets like coming to vision and. Is there a Facebook page? Put on the Facebook page. Is there a reason for the? Yeah.
Actually, I don't know, because, right? It's, well, no, you need to do newsletter, you really can't.
Oh, that's what they are, yeah. And that would be good information, because like, okay, they're getting a lot of clearances, your company would be, here, and it would be. Promoted, like, have something, we could have a bit of a and show that. Who would be the is it either it's like a band night or some, is there like a place where no, just, like just dealing with all the overwhelmed, like I have other employees, it's enough. 4-year-old, you said put it off until we're down for 12, and then with, 2 little ones at Christmas. Oh man, you have, we have a 5 years, 4 years, and then put together their functions. Wow. I look at my husband once in a while, like, we have stress, let's is like, they're crazy. I know, very hard. Then I hear someone else, someone else talking to me recently, I forget who was like, right, it's finally popping off, yeah. Somewhat, yeah. But it was like we're wanting to trying for a boy, so 20 having like 16 girls. Yeah. And then I'll be like meeting 3 sons by now, okay. Very, I think they were in a together. I know it was in another country, but some of them are here, but yeah, it was just like.
Oh, Adam.
And then a girl. I want to hear about this. How are you?
Oh, Adam. Who has a good New Year?
We'll get started in just a couple minutes.
You should. Oh my gosh. He was in the hospital. I got a call Friday night and they said, the girls are rambunctious and yeah. I think I was doing my boxing head and outside down. And
very active.
Bruce County has gone on away home. Right.
Like she'll pull out this board of like. Even lately, just the past few weeks.
Oh, you
Blonde hair.
Just there was so bad in
Like just a dead under your eyes. And I'm like. Yeah, that's
okay. No, but he does.
Like knocks off the.
Oh, yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
What was he gonna say was this? All.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's the word. Oh, yeah.
Right.
How are you? Yeah.
All right, everybody, we are going to get started. Stragglers will just be walking in late, so we are gonna go around and do introductions. Wait, sorry. I hope everybody had a wonderful New Year. We survived it, first council meeting 2024. Okay. So we're gonna go around to introductions. Introductions on Zoom. Looks like there's a lot of members probably still recovering from that New Year celebration. So we're gonna do name, organization or affiliation to prevention, and anything that you are currently doing for prevention or have done for the council for prevention. This is just an opportunity for us to all kind of collaborate with that. So I am Rachel Caden. I'm the Program Director of Forsyth County Drug Awareness Council. And I've got a couple announcements, but I'm gonna do them at the end.
Hello, I'm Erin Dede, and my son has been through Insight. He is now no longer bound, so I feel the need that I need to come and help, and this is a big need, and I'm hoping to help fundraise in whatever way we can fundraise.
I'm Caroline, I'm the project coordinator.
Michael Cowan, I'm the director of the Full Circle Program.
Emily Ennis, I work for the Insight program, and I'm currently in Northside High School. We've gone into schools and shared our stories, shared our testimony. We high schoolers and middle schoolers now. So.
Also, I do the community partners, and I do so lots of opportunity there to talk to kids and their parents.
Katie Lamberton, I am the coordinator of our addiction program at the University of North Georgia City Training Addiction.
Alex Bradley, I'm with Blue Ridge Mountain Recovery Center, and this is my first time at the council, so just looking for ways to get involved in, creating awareness and engaging in prevention.
Welcome. I'm here. I'm Dana Bryan. I'm a former middle school teacher, but I'm the mother of a daughter who died because of heroin when she was 15.
Susan Tanner, I'm the stepmom of two struggling road adult addicts. I do a lot of mentoring with mentors, and I go to a mom's group on my moms.
I'm Cindy Mills. I'm the board of commissioners that I helped start this program. Okay, Zoom members.
Yeah. Okay, let's run through Zoom. We'll start with, is that Nancy?
Yes, I'm Nancy Smallwood. I'm the grants manager for Forsyth County.
Awesome. Thanks, Nancy. Adam?
Hey, I'm Adam Miller, recently director of outreach for No Longer Bound. Yesterday was my last day there. I accepted a job offer for Serenity Health Group. I'll be doing business development for a few treatment programs in North and Northwest Atlanta area. And I'm just getting over COVID, so sorry I couldn't be there.
You still come to our meetings?
I'm going to, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. Kara?
Morning, I'm Kara Bowen. I'm the director for South County DFACs.
Is that Antoinette?
Good morning, I'm Antoinette Garay. I'm a new admin in Forsyth County.
Emily?
Good morning and happy new year, everyone. I'm Emily Miko. I'm the investigation supervisor for DFACs in Forsyth County.
And Janice?
Hi, I'm Janice Nyer. I do the newsletter for the Drug Council.
Tom,
I'm Tom Cleveland. I'm a member of the Forsyth County School Board for 20 years and member of the Drug Council since the early days.
Lindsay,
Good morning, Lindsay Simpson, Student Support Facilitator. I'm sorry I can't be with you guys, but I am teaching youth mental health first aid to our middle school and high school nurses this morning. So wanted to join for as long as I can. Happy New Year.
awesome, thank you. Kirsten, all right, let's hear from Marty.
I think Kirsten came on.
Oh, did you come on? Kirsten?
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. It wouldn't let me unmute. Hi, I'm Kirsten Banks, and I'm a therapist and interventionist and own a group private practice here in Cumming called Therapeutic Recovery Network.
Awesome, thank you, Kirsten. Marty?
Good morning, I'm Marty Riveda. I'm the co-chair with Ashley Dickerson for the parent group, and sorry I couldn't be there. I got some first of the year stuff going on too, so.
Thanks, Marty. Chelsea?
Hi there, I'm Chelsea Clark. I am the grant administrator for Forsyth County.
Awesome, and Mike?
Good morning. I'm Mike Ritter. I'm a sergeant supervisor for Forsyth County and Johns Creek Drug Task Force.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Okay, so before we get started with today's presenter, we have a couple of announcements. The first one is, I don't know if you guys have ever gone to the Harmony Grove Baptist Church drug awareness event, but that's going to be January 20th. There's a couple of flyers in front of you. Our council representative is going to be the speaker at this event. It's Victoria Ray. So she's going to tell her story. She's great. She used to be on the council, moved away, moved back. So she's getting involved again. But we're going to have a table there.
Yes.
Okay. And maybe No Longer Bound will be there also. So it's a really, really cool event. I mean, every year there's a whole bunch of people that show up, and it's just a good opportunity to kind of promote prevention, recovery, awareness. And so if you can show up to that, it's a free breakfast. Really
Good
early.
breakfast.
It's a good breakfast.
The men's group gets there early and cooks breakfast.
Yes. So take a picture of the flyer, show up if you can do that. Second, so next month's council meeting. This is going to be the event. We will not be here at 8 a.m. We will be at this event that I'm going to let Mike discuss. Mike, you've got the floor.
Awesome. So this will be the third annual drug summit. It's going to be a panel interview with kids and parents. We're also going to put a counselor on the board. Commissioner Mills will be interviewing them, and it's been awesome every year because we kind of get that firsthand knowledge from the kids and the parents on what we're seeing in the community, what we're seeing in schools and so forth. So it's an amazing event. We doubled kind of the turnout every year. So it's an awesome opportunity to kind of hear it firsthand from some of the young people here at Forsyth County. Invite as many people, parents, professionals, anybody is welcome.
Yeah, so to piggyback on that, the council here, we put on 2 events each year to try and eliminate stigma in our community. And to be frank, it's been very difficult to pull on the community members. We get a lot of us, and we're great, and we're, a really tight-knit community. But when it comes to educating and eliminating stigma with just the general public, it's really tough. They kind of have that dynamic of, if you're not already in it, why would I take a Wednesday night to go educate myself, which totally understand. But that being said, that's kind of how we can start to influence prevention work, not intervention work, which is what we're really trying to do. So like Cindy and Mike said, I'm just going to say it again though, okay? If you know people, moms, professionals, dads, anybody who maybe has a young person or has any sort of affiliation to being able to help in prevention light, please invite them to this event. There'll be a resource area, so you'll be able to see different people in the community. If you would like a table at this event, please contact me, so that you can give your information out in our resource area. And then it's going to be usually, honestly, a very moving event, to hear the kids being interviewed with their parents, is always just one of those, you kind of walk away going, man, I'm glad I'm doing this, and this is work that needs to be done. So, really and truly invite, let's get our community. And just to say it, I don't have a flyer for it, but April 21st is going to be the Walk for Recovery. So write that down, everybody. That is our second community event. That's at the Cumming City Center. And that's our second opportunity to try and get the word out about we're here, what prevention is. It's meant to be, again, something to educate, eliminate stigma, and support those who are already in recovery. There's music, we'll try to do food, we'll do a walk. It's a whole thing. So the two events, really strongly encouraging, hoping that everybody will be there and inviting others. The Drug Summit next month for the council meeting, and April 21st, the Walk for Recovery.
Hey, Rachel,
Yes, ma'am.
can you confirm the time and location of the summit?
Yes, it is at the Full Circle program, which if you put the Full Circle program in Google Maps, does it show up?
Yes, but it brings you really close, not quite all the way. It brings you by like the thrift store, so you gotta go up the hill.
Yeah, I remember it being weird.
It's really close. I'm still working, but.
Now at least you've got the city center and you can say it straight past the city.
Right by the city center. You're not gonna miss that. I will be emailing out the flyer that does have the address on it. So check your email for the flyer. And there is an RSVP if you can do that, so we can kind of get a head count. We're gonna have some snacks and drinks and refreshments there. But I'll be emailing out the flyers for both these events. Any other questions, thoughts, comments, concerns on what we're doing in 2024?
And what was the date and time on that event?
On the
37th, and then it's 4:30 to 6:30.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that first part?
Yes, it's February 7th from 4:30 PM to 6:30 PM. So it's the first Wednesday of the month. Instead of the morning meeting, we're gonna do an evening meeting. Any other? Yeah.
April 26th and 28th is a parent retreat for parents of addicts in North Georgia. I can give you more information, but it's a great getaway. You need, break from all the mess. So let me know and I'll give you more information. It's awesome event.
Yeah, I've heard wonderful things about that event. And to say this too, if anybody wants to help us plan the Walk for Recovery, we'll use all the help we can get. Just come find me. I'll put you on the planning committee. It's a lot of fun. So does anybody else have anything they want to promote or say for the upcoming year for us to write on our calendars right now? Okay, wonderful. That being said, I'm going to introduce our speaker. We all know her, hopefully. She helped start the council. I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to government policies and what's actually going on, I usually don't actually know what they are. I have an idea of what they are, and I can tell people, oh, I think this is illegal, but from what I understand is it's pretty confusing. It's constantly changing. And I never know, does marijuana become legal or is it not going to become legal, or what's going on? So Cindy is our commissioner. She's our board member. She's the founder of the council, and she is here to educate us. So we have the knowledge and can go out and tell people this is what is factual. So we can tell these young people this is what is factual versus assuming what is factual. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Cindy Mills.
Thank you. Good morning. I don't know how to stand with y'all behind me. I feel like I've got my back here. I can. Is this okay right here?
Well, there we go. All right, gotcha.
Okay. So this morning, Rachel asked me to speak about some of the things we have adopted that help, we think, in the war against trying to get our youth high. I look at it more of a youth thing than I mean, it is adults too, and adults are definitely addicted to it, but I think that all these type things play into the destruction lots of times of our adolescents, of our young people. It actually, you have on the just to help you understand, like our state adopts laws, our county adopts ordinances. And they both are able, if they're written correctly, they're then in the hands of the sheriff's office as far as enforcement. And I mean, I would say this if Sheriff Freeman were sitting here, these are only as good as the enforcement of them. You know, but, and they, lots of times if people fight against them, they go to magistrate court and we find out something's not written as well as it should be, or there's a loophole, or there's different things. And that's really plays into how it's written. And I gauge sometimes how effective they are by if I get a gripe from a convenience store owner about, and I have, of why can we not sell this here in Forsyth County and we can in Dawson? And I, you know, I said, there's a real good reason we want it that way. You know, we are, you know, they look at it like you're trying to hurt business. And no, we're trying to save kids' lives. So sometimes in government, I think that I like if we can be on the proactive side instead of the reactive, just like you were saying a minute ago. But they're always a step ahead of us, it seems like. And they always know it's such a big money issue. I mean, you know, it's a money maker. It's driven by people's greed and people's money, you know, how to, I think that because of that, they're always a step ahead. The Drug Council has to be careful with its grant, you know, how involved it gets, or how it can lobby as individuals versus a drug council. The way this came up, this was even before Ron Freeman was in office. This was when Dwayne Piper was sheriff. Two deputies came to me, deputies Dave and deputy Starr, and they had pictures, all these pictures of what was being sold in convenience stores. I don't go in convenience stores hardly ever because my dad was so gracious and he had a gas pump at his house for us. And so, yeah, spoiled brat. But it was, I didn't, if I can help it, I hate to go in and be in a hurry and have 10 people buying lottery tickets and you stand there forever. But I have failed to notice what was right under our eyes. You know, I did notice, once I had a granddaughter that, you know, they had these pretty bracelets up at the counter, Indian woven, you know, looking just really pretty colorful bracelets or roses, but I never, I mean, I remember glancing at them and seeing $10, $15 and thinking, God, those are expensive. What I didn't realize there was a meth pipe out, you know, at the end of them. There was roses that looked like they were sitting in fake eyes. They were sealed like roses, but at the bottom of it was a meth pipe. You know, all kinds of, not just meth, they're just pipes. I shouldn't have just said meth. It was pipes for anything. And I was just, when Deputy Daves and Starr sat down with me and was showing me these pictures, I was like, what? In our county? This is happening now? And this was prior to the vaping. I've been in office 11 years, and so the vaping came on just right after that. And as I'm saying, it's always evolving. And if a deputy hadn't taken the time to come in and sit and to care, you know, and to say, this is what's happening, we need something to stop this, we need something. So I had to get our county attorney involved, and he helped write the ordinance. And I gave all of y'all the 3 ordinances that we have. Would it be wonderful if our whole state had these in every county? Yes, it would be fabulous. Unfortunately, they don't. I mean, it is so what we had to do, and I'll just go over all of them and then y'all can read them and I can send them to Rachel electronically so they can be sent out to you guys. But they are, the first one on your sheet is a prohibition on the sale, manufacture, use, delivery, purchase, possession, and distribution of unregulated marijuana and unregulated drug substitutes. So this one, I think, was the last one we did. Maybe I got it mixed up, but in the past, there was drugs that y'all know way better than I do, but is it one called K2 or something, and spice, and there are all these manufactured synthetic marijuana or drug substitutes. Well, you've got to be able to tie down in an ordinance the language, and they constantly change the compounds. So the state can't regulate it well, The county can't regulate it well. And so because of PECA and Tammy going to, our prior executive director, going to a lot of those meetings, Tammy had heard of a way of combating it was through marketing. And so she came and sat down with me, and then we met with Ken a few times. And if our our law enforcement goes in that does ordinances and they see anything on the shelf that's being marketed to get high, you know, if it has marijuana leaves on it, as long as marijuana is still not legal here, if it has anything that at all that references getting high in any way, shape, form, you know, leaves, anything, they can make them remove it from the shelf, which has been great in dealing with a lot of popular products. Now, I mean, because that's how they market it, and that's what they want it to do. Now, they could go back. I mean, we had a guy that literally went crazy and tried to make us change the ordinance, said he was bringing a lawsuit against the county because he had a paraphernalia type store, and he wasn't able to sell, and the law enforcement had went in several times, and I think he left town. I mean, I quit hearing from him. I think he decided that Forsyth County wasn't the place to do that kind of business. Now, can they do it right across the lines? Yeah, but not here. So that really has helped on some things. We had to stop short. What's the product? Creighton? Kratom. We had looked at that. Sheriff Freeman said that because it's sold in so many bigger stores, like grocery stores or Walmart, I think was selling it at the time, or different places, that it was much more difficult for them, and he asked to be able to even enforce that. So we try not to put things in that makes enforcement difficult, because then it can happen and it's just worthless. So, and it causes great confusion. I mean, are there people abusing that drug? Definitely. But I don't think that we have the means of being able to take every bad thing away. That's where government can go too far and get where we're not effective.
That's a question.
Yeah.
So, as a council, if we see in a convenience store somebody marketing something to get high, do you know what the process would be to do something about that?
If you contacted me, I would contact it's been Frampton, but I would get in touch with the sheriff's office.
Would it be appropriate for me to put out there, contact me, to not bother, because I'm sure you're doing it, you know, like.
As long as we have a direct person in the sheriff's office that we, you know, that we know that it's not going to get lost, that it's part of that division,
right,
that does that. I don't know, Mike, do you know if Frampton is who's still doing that?
I would be under our ordinance and permits division. I'm trying to think exactly off of who it is, because I think Debbie Frampton may have retired. I'm trying to think offhand the exact person, but that would be the division that and unit that would be over that, the ordinance and permits.
I can ask Nick today and find out who to contact. I also wanted to ask them if they could give us an update on how, I like to ask at least once a year of how many violations they're seeing, how much, you know, what's been removed, what's working, what's not working. It'd be a good time for me to do that review.
Yeah, because I'm curious. I don't know. I don't ever pay attention either if anybody ever sees me advertising. But
when we first adopted it, it was a really, really hot thing. I can't remember what was the Delta, that had just become such a big thing, and the sheriff's office was going in and making them remove. I know Daniel's store on Pilgrim Mill Road, they were, I mean, just all up in arms, because people didn't realize that it had been done, and all of a sudden, and they gave them warnings to begin with, you know, but they were told to remove it. And so it was a big thing. And if you'll look in here, and this was a God thing for me, but these violations we have tied to their alcohol ordinance. I'm not kidding. It was I was sleeping And one of those sleepless nights and woke up and thought, because we hear, it's 3 strikes you're out with their alcohol license. And so I thought the only way we're ever going to get through to these folks is through their pockets. You know, if we can't make it be something effective, there's got to be a risk involved, or they're going to keep doing it and they'll just keep hiding it. And when I don't know, it hit me during the night, and I called our county attorney first thing that morning and I said, we've got to tie it to the alcohol license. Yeah, I said, is that a possibility legally? Can you do that? He said, sure, they both fall under. He said, that's genius. I mean, it really was a God thing. And it was, I said, if we can tie it to that, they won't risk, the alcohol is the most important. And they will not risk losing that license over anything. And so I think that's how it's been somewhat effective. Now, the new products come out and the new demand, and they could change the marketing. And it's hard for a convenience store owner to change the marketing of a whole line that's, you know, but does that mean we need to sit on our laurels and think we've got it covered? No, we probably need to always keep looking at how it's done. Is it being effective? What they're selling? That we did the same thing. If you can look in the ordinance on the vaping, we tied it. If they get caught selling to an underage kid vaping, they can lose their alcohol license. It's another strike. You know, I mean, it's probably more difficult to catch that or to prove that, but they go in and do these sting operations. They get somebody that's of age, or they get somebody. No, they get somebody that looks, anyway, the sheriff's office does this thing. They know what they're doing. You can, Mike can tell better, but how they do it is very legal. I have asked recently, because we haven't had many violations to come before us like we have. And Sheriff Freeman said, we're doing the stings. It's just people they're playing by the rules better. I had a real funny one that came up. It wasn't funny. I was furious, and I think they've done better, but it was the liquor barn or whatever it's called on Setting Down Road on 400. And the guy that came before us and spoke that night, I think his wife had been in law enforcement. Maybe she was in law enforcement at the time. He had been very heavily involved with youth and with doing, and this is when they first got their license. And I said, I'm here to tell you, he's been through all the courses, all the training. And I mean, he was very as outspoken as I've ever had anybody, which should have been my warning sign right there, about how good he knew the law and how good he knew the ordinances and how he would never, ever sell to an underage. Well, he got like 3 violations in a year. And I pulled on that third one, or maybe it was the second one. No, it was the third one, I think. It might have been second. But the first one was for something that was, you know, it wasn't an underage, but the other 2 were. And so I played the video back for him of when I got them to pull it. And I played the video for him to hear and the audience to hear. And I made them clear off their shelf. And I said, if it happens again, your doors will be closed if I'm in office. And I said, we're serious. And this is sending a message to the whole county that we're serious here, and we're serious in defending this is us being supportive of law enforcement, because the way it happens, the law enforcement goes in and they're who does the sting operation, or they're who sees the underage or something they're doing that's illegal. And then if we don't support them, it's like, well, then why should we get you to do it? And underage to me is the biggest. That is I can get, some clerical mess ups or this, that, and the other, but the underage is big. But they're still open. I didn't know if they'd make it. They had to, I think it was 30 days. It was a big deal. I mean, it was big. And I got talked about awful on Facebook for it.
You're doing your job.
But it was, people saying it was too harsh and too this and too that. And I remember way back when I was a kid, you knew the stores that would sell. you knew the ones that the word would get out in a hurry of where you go and what you do. Well, in North Forsyth, I didn't want that to occur. Let it be somewhere else, but I did not want it to occur. So that's just another example. So we've got, if you look at your packet, it's got 3 different ordinances in it. And so we also have a thing that went back to Deputy Starr and Dave's, that we made it where we could not, there's certain things like that we're limited by free speech, by this, by that. So we can't say you can't sell the roses with the pipes on the end. We can't legally say you can't, but we can say by law that you have to pay the county a fee, a licensing fee per product and every line. So it's in here, and that it can't be in the view of the public. So we were able to do things like that. So we can say, we can't stop you. You have your right to sell, but we can charge you a fee, and we can do, and it can't be in public view. It can't be where the kids can see it, and it can't be, it's really just enough hassle to hopefully get them not to do it. That's the goal. And we have tried to be as just as onerous as we can be to discourage those bad things from happening. People, I don't think, I have noticed on Facebook before people saying, why is it you can't go to our convenience stores and buy so-and-so? And people are, oh, it's illegal here. You can't do, I get great pride in that. I think that's a wonderful thing. But I have seen people, griping about it. So hopefully it keeps our stores looking a little bit better. Ken did write me a summary, and I'll read through it real quick. The 3 ordinances attached represent the county's efforts at stopping or at least disincentivizing the sale of synthetic drug substitutes or drug usage devices that appear enticing to minors. The codes also impose strong regulations on non-traditional tobacco devices that are normally used for illicit drugs. Those are the burners, scales, I just gotta be real careful on some of that, because they can say, oh, the scales are for weighing food. It has to be very drug related. The codes also impose strong regulations on non-traditional tobacco devices that are normally used for illicit drugs, and also establish reasonable regulations on stores whose primary purpose is selling vape products. The vape people, we actually sat down with them. That was a new thing, and it was popping up like crazy, and we adopted a vaping ordinance, a vaping store policy. I actually walked in a few stores just to see, and I called the mayor to get him to, because the ones in the city were doing a lot. They had a lot of crap that I didn't think he was aware of, that that wasn't permitted in the county. And I think they adopted it too. But there was, there was things, just the way it's mixed. And this was before FDA. Hadn't the FDA now come out with regulations on the vaping stuff? When this first came along, there was none. There was, the FDA had not approved it, and it was just the Wild Wild West. It was just, and these places were creating, now they jumped in on us before we knew it was coming. Now, most of our overlays prohibit any vape shops altogether. I go so far in the Coal Mountain overlay, I've already got no marijuana distribution, and it's not even been approved. But I already have it in the ordinance. I did it the night of that we adopted it. And I said, Ken, can I add, even though marijuana is not legal, can I go ahead and say in the Coal Mountain overlay that there is no marijuana distribution? And he said, yeah, you're on the commission, you can do that. And I did. I think, but it's not countywide. It's just in the Coal Mountain overlay. So the way overlays, so that's separate from an ordinance, but that's another power that the commissioners can have, is when we adopt overlays, you can have prohibitions in the overlays. And think of an overlay, you have your land use map, you have a comprehensive plan that the land use map is a part of, But an overlay is just that. It goes on top of that. And it gives architectural, landscaping, lighting, things of that nature on top of it. But you can have things that are prohibited from being in there. I mean, like in Coal Mountain, along Highway 9, it doesn't stop anything that's grandfathered that's already there. Like there is a CBD or vape stores. I think there's one in at Kroger on Freedom Parkway. I think there's one that is up, as long as they keep their license active, but if they ever don't, then they lose that ability because it's not allowed going forward. So we've got that's another means of being able to have some type of governing control over it. All right, where did I get to? So the first one, section 50-5 is the prohibition on the sale, manufacture, use, delivery, purchase, possession, or distribution of unregulated marijuana and unregulated drug substitutes. This prohibits the use, purchase, sale, delivery, or transport of 1, unregulated marijuana substitutes, and 2, unregulated drug substitutes. Unregulated marijuana substitutes are, like I said, stuff like K2 and spice, marketed both as bath salts or herbs. They're intended to produce a euphoric effect like marijuana. We cannot regulate what is already regulated by state law. So this objective here is to capture the ever-evolving synthetically created THC substances. Unregulated drug substitutes designed to capture other synthetic drugs, not necessarily those targeted at simulating marijuana. They're designed to cause a similar effect. Like Schedule 1 drugs, we are using language to address Delta 8 and 9. If any vendor sells either unregulated marijuana substitutes or unregulated drug substitutes and is convicted under the code, it counts as a strike against their alcohol license. This has been the hook that the sheriff has used to dissuade vendors not to sell these items. However, we now have Delta 8 and Delta 9 dealers with no alcohol license, so enforcement has become more challenging. So the threat doesn't exist there, and it makes it harder. Section 56, regulation of the sale of non-traditional tobacco paraphernalia, requires a county permit for the sale of non-traditional tobacco paraphernalia like hookah pipes, the fake jewelry, necklaces, and bongs. A 2,000 annual license is required. That's just if a vendor sells additional line of devices such as grinders, storage devices, weighing devices, torch lighters, that's an additional $250 permit fee is required. All inventory must be kept in a screen room, and the product shall not be visible to minors. Any violations of this code counts as a strike against the vendor's alcohol license. 50-7 says a prohibition on the use of alternative nicotine products aimed at vaping requires all businesses whose primary purpose is vaping must have a Forsyth County permit, requires mandatory display of signing detailing the ingredients in the vape juice. That's really have time. They had lots of window issues. Requires each vape store to have an operational dehumidifier so enforcement can clearly see inside the store, because enforcement could not when it was without that. No one under 21 may enter an establishment whose primary purpose is the retail sale of alternative nicotine products or vape chews. Any violations of this code counts as a strike against the vendor's alcohol license, that those stores that are doing it don't have alcohol. Do y'all have any questions? That's a summary, and y'all can look at these in more detail. If you have any contacts in any other counties, help share it. Tell them, I've sent it to a lot of different counties through ACCG. I don't know if they've adopted it, but I know they were very interested in it. But this is ways that I think our drug council can help in being able to go out, and you go into these convenience stores, you see them, call attention, to it through law enforcement. Y'all don't go try to take it off the shelf, but and try to just help be the eyes in the community to keep our community clean.
Now, does herbal smoking blends or unregulated marijuana substitutes cover CBD?
It It's debatable. It's according to how it's marketed. It's all about the marketing. If the CBD is shown as a get high thing, then we can remove it. And it might be,
Medicinal.
it's just according to how it's marketed.
Or
If
treat your
there-
kids ADHD with these gummies.
Yeah,
So can I clarify a couple?
Yeah.
So it's marketing for anything getting high. If they have any sort of vaping or getting high devices viewable to minors,
vaping is different. You'd have to look at the vaping ordinance. That vaping can be viewable. It's the products like the hookahs, the pipes, the anything that is typically used to get high.
okay, so if that is viewable,
It should not be.
and were you saying that unless it was grandfathered in, no vape shop should be in Forsyth County?
No, in North Forsyth, I only know of 2 that was permitted before we got the overlay put in place that said none. They're scattered throughout the county. There's some in South Forsyth, I know. I've seen them. There's not a lot. We got in here early. I've seen more in Dawson County right now than in just a short little area than I see in Forsyth. But it is, we could not do away with the ones that were there. I called recently on the one on Freedom Parkway because it's just nasty looking.
Yeah.
And I have said, how did this happen? How did this occur? I thought we had this, it's in the Coal Mountain overlay, blah, blah, blah. And they said they've been there forever. They got there before the overlay did. So,
And the shopping center where Kroger is? Okay, I don't ever go anywhere, but just right to Kroger and back when I go there, so I guess it's down on the other end.
yeah, it is. It's closer to that restaurant.
So, but in the future, those who work with the youth, or if you're just going out, if you're seeing any of those, let's now kind of just know the point of these meetings, again, like she's saying, to enforce this is to, if you don't want to call the police directly, just message Cindy or me, and we'll get it to the right person so that these can actually be enforced and we can help out. That's what we're here for. So to reinstate that, email me or Cindy and try to look out for our community.
Yeah, and I'll get I started to pick that up. I'll get to Rachel, some statistics from the sheriff's office to send out to everyone, just so they'll know how the sheriff's office does it and how they look at it and, the enforcement of it. And I mean, anytime that you see or hear that there's new products coming, that would be a good chance for us to get ahead of it, is to see if our ordinance does cover it. And it, might be something that the board could adopt, a change that would better suit it, I mean, they're gonna outsmart this, and then we'll have to come back and be reactive to that. I mean, I guess to be proactive, we need to get the kids younger and younger and teach them, the problem is kids listen to other kids, or the people older than them, than they listen to adults. So we have to protect on both sides.
Do you know if flavored vape? I recently went to webinars and I thought I was hearing that any flavored vape federally is legal.
I think that's correct. I'm
So-
not positive, but I think because these places we're doing, I mean, they literally, when we first started this way back, I don't know, 7 years ago or something, a long time ago, they were mixing in the store. Like they were creating, I mean, what kids were vaping. I mean, it could have metal in it. It could have, I mean, really damaging things to lungs, but there were no regulation, none. And people thought, I guess parents thought, I don't even know what parents were thinking, but if it was in a store, it was okay. That some government was regulating it, and no, and they were, I mean, I had a vape store owner, he was a distributor in Atlanta that had umpteen zillion stores that he helped write, and he was educating me on what was good and what was bad. And there was definitely get high vaping stuff being sold in local stores. Definitely, probably still are. But and there was no regulation of it to like There was nothing in place. The state hadn't passed laws on it at the time. I mean, our little county ordinance was the best that we had, you know, and I mean, I was always of the mindset, we can't sit here and do nothing. We have to do something or it's going to get worse and worse. And I mean, it might not be, would it be better to be statewide? Yes. But do you not do anything because the state's not done anything? No.
So Mike, what do you say? You still see a lot of babies in the kids? Is that the main thing?
Yeah, a lot of the young people, I feel like, are still using a lot of the Delta aids. I see a lot of Delta aids still, so that's my curiosity. Because I think a lot of them still too know those certain places where they can get their hands on it without being.
Yeah. Well, God knows all you have to do is talk to a kid and they'll tell you where. Because kids don't know not to tell. I mean, they like to brag a lot. I mean, most kids I know or I've ever sat down with and talked, that's exactly why that drug summit's so nice or good, because kids, they're very revealing. Much to their parents sometimes regret, but they are. I mean, I'm not saying they can't be deceptive and they can't lie and they can't do. I've called you before. I've seen them changing shirts out in the parking lot before they walk in your place. I'm like, come on. They're changing shirts. What kid changes a shirt before he goes in? I mean, he's obviously got marijuana smell all over it, or he wouldn't be changing. It wouldn't that he was that concerned with hygiene. But it is kids most of the time, if you show you care and you're not punitive what they tell you, they're going to open up and talk. They just are. And that way, I mean, that's the good thing. If we can find out that there's some stuff, then we can tell the sheriff's office to be looking into it and to watch them and to stop it if it's going on. All right. Anything else?
I just appreciate you so much.
Oh,
What you've done.
I'm proud of what we've done, but I'm sure we need to do more. I don't think you ever finished. Definitely.
All right, well, everybody, thank you very much, Cindy, for everything that you had to say. Hopefully, if anybody has any more questions, I will get this out in an email to everybody. But you know, if you want to get more involved with specifically what we just talked about, like we have a lot of youth members that want to do projects all of the time. And you can always start a project to where you can help enforce something like this more. So just, again, contact me if you want to get more involved, if you want to start your own project, or if you want to collaborate with a current project that's already going on. But other than that, I know it's a little bit early, which is not normal for our meetings. Is there anything else we need to say, or are we good to go? All right, ladies and gentlemen, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. Okay.